Hello, Namaste. It's me, Nabin. Today I'm going to explain you about communication and network. This is based on SE syllabus. This is the part one of communication and network. I'm going to explain you about communication, data communication, telecommunication, mode of data transmission, simplex, half duplex, full duplex, computer network, advantage and disadvantage. The first one is communication, which means exchanging of information. So the exchanging of information through the communication channel or through the electronic media is known as communication. They use common types of systems, or they use common system of symbols, signs, or behaviors. Or in another word, a system for transmitting or exchanging the information is known as communication. One of the example is telephone. Another example is computer. Data communication. So by the word itself, data communication means exchanging of data. So the exchange of data or information between a source and a receiver through or from a transmission media is known as data communication. So data communication takes place between two different places digitally. Basically, we need sender, source, path, transmission medium, receiver, sink, and protocol for data communication. Source. Source means the device that sends the message. Example of source: computer, workstation, handset, telephone, video camera, etc. are the source. There are lots of sources which you can think. And next is medium. Medium means path through which message is transferred. So path over here means it might be cable, radio wave, microwave. That means it might be wired or wireless. Third one is a receiver. It is the device that receives the message. Computer, workstation, telephone, television, radio, all these are the receiver. Now, to transmit data from one place to another place, we need some kind of rules. And the rules is known as protocol. So the protocol means rules for transmitting data through the communication channel or transmission media is known as protocol. The examples of data communication are television transmission, VoIP, radio transmission, internet, etc. After this, next term is telecommunication, which is also known as telecom. So telecom means transmitting of data from one place to another place over a significant distance. Trans Transmission of signal over a significant distance for the purpose of communication is known as telecommunication. Telecommunication is the word used for the science and technology of sending messages using electricity or electronic media, or electronically. We can say it as electronically. Next topic is mode of data transmission. Transmission mode. It's also known as transmission mode or communication mode. The transmission mode defines the directions of flow or directions of signal flow between two connected devices. I repeat once again, the transmission mode defines the direction of signal flow between connected devices. The, me- the mechanism of transmitting of data between two devices connected in a network over network is known as data transmission mode or communication mode. We have three modes of transmission: simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. The first one is simplex. In case of simplex, data can be sent only in one direction. That means a sender can only send the data but cannot receive, or a receiver can only receive the data but cannot send it. Okay? So it has the least or no traffic issue for the data or for a communication channel. So for example, loudspeaker, television broadcasting, radio broadcasting, television and remote, keyboard, monitor, etc. are the example of simplex. Next is half duplex. In case of half duplex, messages flow in both the direction but not at the same time. That means either it can send the data or it can receive the data. The data can flow in both direction but one at a time, in one direction at a time. In this case, the entire bandwidth of communication channel is utilized in one direction at a time. The examples are line printer application, communication with a walkie-talkie. These two are the example of half duplex. Next is full duplex. In case of full duplex, data can be transferred in both directions at the same time. Or data transmission mode in which data can flow in both the directions at the same time is known as full duplex. Both the sender and receiver can send and receive the message simultaneously. Actually, in full duplex, it has two simplex channels. One is for sending the data and another is for receiving the data. For example, telephone network. Our next topic is computer network. So it's really simple. It's connections of two or more than two computers is known as computer network. But there will be some other features for computer network. The features are for sharing data, information, resources, and communication. Network should be in the same location or in the different location, using different communication channel or communication media path. Okay, if your computer is not in the network, then it's known as stand-alone computer. Now let's move to the next part, that is advantages of computer network. Basically, there are lots and lots of advantages of computer network. I've categorized the advantages in four different classes. The first one is resource sharing. Over here, resource means hardware and the software. Hardware and the software can be shared. Next is database or remote server can be accessed or shared easily. It's also the part of software where we can say the data from the remote computer. Second point is cost factor. Sharing of resources leads to reduction of cost. So once we share the resources, we can reduce our cost or we can reduce our expenses. Sharing the resources over here means we can share the information or we can share the file through the email or through internet. Obviously, it reduces our cost. Now, another point is separate software or peripheral device are not required. This all comes under cost factors. Now, third point is reliability. Some inputted data and program can be stored at more than one machine on the network so that if one machine goes down, the system does not crash completely. That means it's also, we can say it as a backup facilities. We can store our file in different location so it will be more reliable. If something goes wrong in one machine, it won't make any difference because we have backup copy in some other place. Another point, the data and program are however still accessible from other machines. The same thing. Okay. Now the third is communication. Communication with other network. Communication with other network user from anywhere in the world is possible. So we can communicate with another person in another corner of the world using email, instant messaging, video conferencing, online classes, etc. are possible because of the network. Online shopping is also possible because of the network. Not only that, we can transfer the fund, or we can do lots and lots of things in computer. There are lots and lots of other points as the advantages of computer, but I have explained only 4 points. The 4 points are resource sharing, cost factor, reliability, and communication. Now let's go to another topic, that is disadvantages of computer network. So if we see the disadvantages, the first part is the cost of the machine. Initial cost, okay. Purchasing the network cable and file server can be expensive. So not only that, we need manpower for this kind of thing. If you have very huge office, in that case we need separate technician. Okay, managing large network is complicated, require trained and network manager usually needs to be employed in big offices. So we need to employ network manager. Okay, now another disadvantage, if your files are in a file server system, if the file server break down, the files on the server become inaccessible. Though we have facilities of backup, but the files will be inaccessible at that time. It takes lots of time to manage it. Virus can be spread through the network. That's also the disadvantage. And last one is the most dangerous one. That is, there is a danger of hacking, particularly with the wide area network. That means we are using internet. In that case, the data may be hacked. Okay, so you must install firewall as well as antivirus software in your network. Thank you.